Michael. I'm chair and co-founder of WAYout Arts, which is using art, media and filmmaking to change the lives of street youth and change perceptions of wider communities. That's the slide I was going to start on, so I'll move straight on to the next one. We work in Sierra Leone, which is a beautiful country. It's also one of the poorest countries in the world. 70% youth unemployment, 70%. It's been hit by civil war, it's been hit by floods on a yearly basis, mudslides, and of course most recently, or quite recently, the Ebola crisis. The young people that we're working with living on the streets get brought in and pulled into gangs. They are feared by their wider communities, and as a result they're largely excluded by those communities, and they find it very hard to find a way back, hence the work that we're doing at WAYout. WAYout provides a safe space, a place that they can go to get off the streets. They're often criminalised on the streets, picked up by police on a very regular basis if they're on the streets and in gangs. We provide, using film, arts and music, an opportunity to get their voice heard. It's a positive activity that they can engage in, something exciting. I mean, who wants a young person being involved in music and getting involved in film? It's quite an attractive offer for them. The wider part of this is the courses that we're running there are actually professionally run. They're run by volunteers who are professionals based and coming from the UK and the US. And as such, we're providing them with real hard employability skills, English skills, IT skills, as part of the wider offer around editing courses, camera courses and Photoshop, as well as the music offer we're doing as well. It is empowering. Through enabling young people to share their stories, get heard, challenge wider society's perception of them and what they can do. Even a small audience can validate what they've been through and their experiences. It provides hope, both in terms of providing them employability skills, that they might actually move away from the streets. They could end up getting a job, they could end up going to college. But it also provides hope, having achieved something positive like make a track, like make a film, that they can re-engage with wider society, that they might be accepted, having achieved something positive, but that they can more importantly almost, or as importantly, re-engage with their own families. A lot of these young people have been estranged from their families, seen as bad, seen as evil, wicked by their families, and this is a way back to those families. We are the only charity doing this in West Africa. We offer and run an open door policy, which means two things. We are open literally every day of the year, and we were one of the only charities that was open throughout the Ebola crisis. But in addition to that, we are open to young people for as long as they need us. There is no time limit on how long they can engage with us, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 6 years, as long as it takes to get that young people through and engaged in our courses and moving away from street life and gang life. That's as long as we can work with them. Just a bit more about our courses. Our courses each have, it's not working, I'll do it that way. At the end of each course is a certificate ceremony. So not only have they created a track or a film or completed a course, they get a certificate which they can then share with employers, with colleges, also take back to their families. And in terms of wider impact, some stats for you. In the last 10 years we've engaged with 4,000 street youth. 1,000 certificates given out. 85 of those street youth have been given grants to support them to set up and move away from gangs and set up their own homes. Over 60 of them employed in the media industry alone. That's quite important to us. The media industry is one of the only growth industries in the whole of Sierra Leone. And we are providing the suitable skills for them to access the employment opportunities there. They work in TV stations, they work for NGOs, they might even be wedding photographers, but they are using those skills in real employment. More generally, the young people that we're working with are moving away from crime. They've done something positive, they've achieved something with their lives, they want to move away from the gangs and into something more positive. So they might be moving from illegal to legal employment, and that might be car washing. It might be driving a taxi, but it is nonetheless the desire to move into more positive lifestyles. That also means they're not taking drugs anymore, they're not smoking, if they were ever doing so. and we're very proud of that. Very generally, 2,000 tracks made, 500 films made. I'm already at the 5-minute point. Wow, okay. Quickly moving on. Each of those tracks can be a way home. Each of those tracks could be an award winner. Each of those tracks raises awareness with the wider communities that they're working with, and inclusion and boost inclusion. So I'm going to rush on here. So please do ask me about Mash P. Please do ask me about Palestine. I knew I'd have to do this. Please do ask me about the films that we're doing, because we've done amazing films that have been shared on the news internationally that changed the international response to the Ebola crisis. They were by our young people. We're very proud of that, and in terms of the music that we've done as well, shared internationally, Mash P, one of our members on the President's Thank You concert stage. We are here to ask you for your support to replicate this model, to bring it to a place called Kissy Town, which is a refugee settlement on the outskirts of Freetown. 23,000 refugees live there. 350 young people is the number that we're going to be working with, and a wider community engaged of 20,000 people. £6,000 from you goes a very long way in Sierra Leone. We will be paying for 2 people, staff members, who will be from that local community. We will be covering electricity, we will be covering equipment, we will be covering the rent for 2 whole years. We get an additional £1,000. I'll stop there, but do ask me what we might do with that additional money.